It's the end of the year, thank God. Can I say that?
Why can't you say that?
I don't know.
It's the end of the year, thank God. Can I say that?
It's the end of the year, thank God. Can I say that? It's the end of the year of 2022. And I have my top 10. Here it is.
It's the end of the year, 2022, the last year of all years. Top 10, let's go.
It's the end of the year, 2022. The year to end all years. The great last year of ever. Let's talk about this list. It's my phone. I don't know, I did it here, in front of me, full screen, whatever. This is my list. I assume it's going to be ahead of me. As you can see, I have quite a lot of thes. This is the year of the. I want to talk about the menu. The menu was written by two writers. I don't have them off the top of my head, but they started on The Onion, and they eventually wrote this, in my opinion, freaking masterpiece. This is very similar to another movie in my list, Triangle of Sadness, but the menu is a gigantic satire on art and also critics, and it has a lot to say. It's very funny, and I hope it gets a screenplay nomination. I doubt it will, but this is the second movie that Adam McKay's company made this year. He also made Fresh, which I really liked, or he produced Fresh. It's kind of similar, where it's a horror comedy. Anyways, go see the menu. It's great. I'm also going to talk about Triangle of Sadness, which is very similar to the menu. The menu is a lot more digestible, pun intended, but it's about these very rich elite people on a yacht and the power struggles between the working class, the sort of middle class who are the waiters and waitresses, and then the insanely elite people. It's also a satire on that. It's hilarious. It's gross. I already did a review on this. I'm now remembering. But go see this movie. It's wonderful. Michael is going to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is my #1 movie of the year. Can't say enough about it, but Michael's going to do it for me. My Netler this year, we're still doing that bit, is Ty West's kind of universe that he created out of nothing in 1 year. X in Pearl. X was a surprise hit. It stars, everyone knows who she is now, Janet Ortega. She actually has kind of a bit role, but Mia Goth and Kid Cudi, which is cool. It's so solid. It's such a good slasher. There's a lot of good stuff in it, and a weird twist that's disgusting, and I loved it. A24 greenlit a sequel as they were still filming, so Ty West wrote with Mia Goth another movie based off of one of the characters called Pearl, and it was basically an excuse for Mia Goth to try to win an Oscar. I don't think it's going to happen, but she is wonderful in it. Very, it's kind of like the Joker, sort of, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, where they clearly need help and no one's giving them help. It came out of nowhere, and people went and saw these two movies, and they're making a third one, which is awesome. Go Ty West. I don't know what else to say. That's my Netler. That's my best of the year. Good luck, everyone else.
I'm getting word that Zach said I was going to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once. Great movie. I'm going to let JD handle it, actually. I want to talk about the year of Colin Farrell. This man is in 3 movies in my top 10. Of course, The Batman, Banshees of Inisherin, and After Yang, which was my #1. Previously did a review. In a way, it's like her. It's futuristic, but present day. And just the acting in it, Haley Lou Richardson's in it, who's big off of White Lotus right now. So it's just it's got a lot of great acting, and Colin Farrell needs an Oscar this year. This is his year. I don't care what role or what movie you give it to him, just give it to him. He needs it.
All 3.
All 3? I mean, why not? I'm sure they've done it before. Why not do it again? Another one I want to talk about is Turning Red. This movie, if you have a kid, you've probably seen it about 60 times. So maybe I'm biased, but it is genuinely a good coming-of-age movie. It is probably Pixar's best movie of the year, and the last few years, actually, if you want to argue it. The acting, the voice acting is really good. The animation's slick. That time period, everyone was about boy bands, and the boy band in this is really cool. Just a really well-done movie. And the last one I want to talk about before I get to my Netler is Triple R. What a roller coaster of a movie. This is 800 genres into one. I watched the Natu Natu dance scene over and over again, probably once a month. It is just expert filmmaking. Now, I'm going really fast. I'm just breezing through this. Let me slow down. For my Netler, it is not a movie. It's a video game. I spent over 200 hours in this video game, and I'm talking about Elden Ring. I couldn't tell you the plot of this thing, but the boss fights, the just like cinematography of it all, just the way it's all designed, it's just beautiful. The fighting is it's the hardest game I've ever played, but I finished it. I got clips. Roll the clip. I would not recommend it to people who have never played video games before, but for people that are into video games and want a challenge, this is it. Let me just quickly, since I'm breezing through this, I don't know why I went so fast. I just want to talk about Kimmy and Causeway, Kimmy came out very early in the year, and as with a lot of movies, they don't really get that Oscar buzz if they get released early in the year. But Kimmy is really great. Steven Soderbergh, it encapsulates what the pandemic felt like for a while. And Causeway is just like Jennifer Lawrence's return, and I think Brian Tyree Henry should get an Oscar nom for this. I don't know if he'll win, but yeah, just a lot of good movies this year. It's a really good year. I'm just trying to elongate my time, so it seems like I...
Is this, off camera and off mic, is this the best year of movies since before the pandemic? Would you say that?
JD asked, is this the best year of movies
since before the pandemic?
Since before the pandemic, and I don't know.
Yes.
Because there were surprisingly a lot of good movies in 2020.
That's true.
Obviously, there was less movies that came out, but 2020 had some really solid movies. But I think top to bottom, this top 10 is better than the 2021 for sure. I have the Need for Speed, and I'm going to get out of here. And it's JD's turn to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've got a lot of ground to cover because apparently I'm talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once, a movie that is on my list, but is not even my number one. But before we do that, shout out Turning Red. You know what's up. Michael knows what's up. It's good. Special shout out to the bad guys also, kind of pairing the two. It was kind of a sad year for animation, but those movies really just were great. Fun time. If you haven't seen the bad guys, go check it out. Glass Onion. I know we just talked about it, but I mean, what if someone's watching this video in the future and they're like, did they forget about Glass Onion? We did not. It is on several of our lists, so don't worry. You're seeing all the graphics. Here's a movie that no one had on their list because I don't think anyone else saw it, but Tar. Man, what a movie. If you don't know what this is Cate Blanchett in a Todd Fields movie, and it is about a conductor. The more I think about it, it's almost like a weird haunted ghost story about with like elements of cancel culture and that idea of like, can you separate art from the artist, and what it takes to be one of the greats. Fantastic. Cate Blanchett will win the Oscar. We can add this clip in to our Oscar show when she does win the Oscar. So good luck. And unfortunately, if she doesn't, this is going to be embarrassing. Here it is. Everything Everywhere All at Once. My number 3. I'm just going through the whole list because Michael, didn't take enough time. So I'm trying to stretch here. There are 2 movies that will define this year, and this is one of them. The indie darling that is still being talked about, is still being memed, that will has a very good shot of winning Best Picture. Michelle Yeoh has a very good shot, even though it's Cate Blanchett's already said that. But it's so fun, it's so good, and it just took Multiverse of Madness to task. I mean, the audacity to even... They should have just postponed Doctor Strange, if I'm being honest with you, because this movie is maybe the best multiversal movie that's ever been made, and probably will ever be made. We've gone this long and not talked about Top Gun Maverick, the movie of the year. The Legacy sequel, Tom Cruise's best performance in years. I mean, I love the Mission Impossible movies, but the man's a robot. Anyways, it's so good. I can rewatch it right now probably. And man, it is like legit gonna be nominated for Best Picture, and I'm not mad about it. In fact, I wouldn't be mad if it won. And then we got my number one, Nope. This movie, I love this movie so much. This movie, it's so crazy that in a year where Spielberg makes a movie about Spielberg, Jordan Peele makes a movie like that's very much a tribute, but also like flipping the Spielberg model on its head of just, not looking to the sky but looking down. It's also I know it's weird that I have a movie that rails against spectacle right ahead of a movie that is a spectacle. I know it's hard, but it's so good. Everything about this movie works. I wish more people talked about it because I feel like it does not get the credit it's due. It looks great. It changes the way to shoot at night. It is not going to get the love it deserves. But hopefully in like 5 to 10 years, people are really like on board with this one. It's so good. Oh man. And my Nedler, this I struggled with. We had so much stuff to talk about and to watch. Too much, some would say. Definitely too much Marvel stuff. But I'm not going to talk about Marvel. I'm going to talk about a documentary because I'm fancy. I'm elevated. How many documentaries were on your list, huh? I'm going to talk about the documentary Senior. This is a really moving, unique documentary about Robert Downey Sr. He is the father of Robert Downey Jr., and he is also a not well-known filmmaker, but, in the 60s and 70s, 80s, he was making these very strange, different types of movies that really, that people followed and loved. But this movie is about, like, he is diagnosed with Parkinson's, and it is Robert Downey Jr.'s way of kind of coming to terms with who his father was and what he did to him, kind of like he's kind of the reason why Robert Downey Jr. kind of spiraled and all his drug issues years ago. But it's really him coming to terms with that, figuring out how to say I love you, but also say like you really messed me up and I forgive you. While also at the same time, it's Senior deciding I'm going to make a documentary while you guys are making a documentary. And it's just so unique and different and cool. That's it. I think I did a great job on this list. And really, probably I won the list. If we're voting, I had the best list. I had the best 2022. Right? Raise your hand. They're all raising their hands. You can't see them off camera, but I won. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for another great year. Thanks for all the subscribers. I think we're up to what?
422.
422. That's huge. Considering we started the year at, I don't even know, probably 415. But doesn't matter. Thank you so much to those 7 people who subscribed. Keep watching. And we'll keep making these videos. Yeah.
Un esercito di prodi